Registering a new organisation to use CareResponse is quick and easy using an online wizard that holds your hand through each stage of the registration process. The URL here is the one to use for the Red Wizard. In order to register, you'll need some information, including the contact details of your organisation, the name of any practices that you want to register, the name of any practitioners or clinicians, and the name of any receptionists or administrators. You can add these later on if you don't have them all at the start. Optionally, you can include information about your website, your privacy policy if you have this available online, and the IP range of your computer network. The IP range is used to limit access, so people from your clinic can only access your CareResponse data from within your physical setting. This is the online registration wizard. It gives you some information before starting off. Press the next button. I'm going to enter our organisation name. This is being made up, this information. You need to put a valid email address in here. The rest of this information here is optional. The information below here is optional. If you've got it, it's good to enter it, but not necessary. Here we're going to enter the contact details of our first clinic. So one organisation can have more than one clinic registered to it. We can choose which outcome assessment we're going to use, either Bournemouth questionnaire or the MIMOP as our key prom. You can change this later on, so it doesn't matter if it's set in correctly. Do you want the patient to complete some background medical history questions as part of their initial assessment, yes or no? Allowing completion date updates means that you can actually alter the date that a form is completed on. So if a patient completes an assessment on paper and someone's going to key it into the computer on a different day than the day it was completed, you can set it retrospectively. And show a consent option of patients. We suggest this is set to yes. This is a very simple question that's asked to patients is, would you be happy at some point in the future to be contacted by a researcher? It's up to the patient whether they choose to answer that yes or no. Address details are optional. We now want to add this as a new practice. If I have more than one practice in my organisation, I can then enter the details again and then save. When I've added all the practices I want to, I'm going to click next. We're going to add a practitioner. CareResponse will look to see if the practitioner you're entering is already in the system. So if I enter 28, which is my registration number, and if I click the magnifying glass, it'll search the system and it should find me. And because it's found me, it will assign my existing login to this new practice, which means as a practitioner, I only have to remember one practice. And I click yes, because I'm actively working in this practice. I'm going to save it. If I had another practitioner and I'm going to enter a rubbish registration number, so CareResponse will not find this practitioner and I have to put in all the information for it. We set a username and password. The user will actually get the option to edit these the first time they enter into the system. And I can ask the system to generate a password for me. Organisation administrator is somebody who can set up and amend the organisation's details. You'll need at least one in your organisation. And yes, the practitioner is active. So I've now got the two practitioners here and I can edit either of those if I want to. We're now adding the name, the contact details of some of our receptionists. Do not need to give an email address for an administrator if you don't want to. If you've entered more than one practice, you'll select the practice the practitioner, the administrator or receptionist normally works at. And when I've added all the receptionists I want to add, I press the next button. And we're now completed. So CareResponse will now send us an email. As part of the registration process, CareResponse sends 2 emails to users. The first email is sent when you complete the very first stage of registration, and this gives an emergency username and password. So if for some reason you can't complete the registration or you get logged off, you can use this to pick up where you left off going through the registration process. But once you've reached the last page of registration, this login details stops working, and you then receive a second email, and this email actually validates the whole registration process and the email address you've set up. So to complete it, you click on the complete registration button, and it comes up with this that confirms that we've registered, and we now click here to go to the log on page. And I'm going to enter the login details, and the first thing it's doing is asking the user to update their password